self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I don't play tag. I've been it. Also known as Calamity Red.
I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Lizzo. Truth hurts.
My brother sent me a text message and said, bro, you got to listen to Lizzo.
It's amazing. She's amazing.
Is it rap?
I think of Lizzo along the lines of like Missy. You know how Missy sing and rap together? It's kind of like that. I don't play tag, bitch. I've been it.
I'm going to go ahead and admit early into this podcast that I have not listened to rap in many years, except for Tupac. Continue to listen to Tupac stuff. Kendrick Lamar, little woke rappers here and there. Listen to their albums and stuff.
I listen to that. That's it.
But for some reason, I've been telling myself, I want to get back into rap. Like, I want to see what these cats is talking about. And I done stumbled upon T Grizzly.
Why?
Now, I don't know. That's why I'm admitting this. Of all the rappers I've tried to listen to, Hoodie with a Boogie, Trippie Redd, I'm trying to figure out, Lil Uzi Vert. I'm trying to figure out who I should be listening to. And I stumble upon T Grizzly. And he is the goonest of goons.
He let me listen to like a minute of a song, and in this 1 minute, this nigga done killed his friend, and was like, have you ever had to kill him? I'm gonna take care of his family still, but I'm gonna kill this nigga. And you remember how he blasted up against the wall? God damn, this is like a minute of this song. Jesus, I
have no idea what subconscious processes
I don't know neither.
Listening to T Grizzly are catering to for me, but I have no explanation of why. Like, I'm terrified of the man's music, but I guess I like how he put it together.
I don't know.
I guess I need to listen to Lizzo. I need something to take the place of T Grizzly right now.
Lizzo is her song. It's funny. Like, all her songs are funny. Like, Truth Hurts is funny. Juice is funny. The videos, her visuals are always very funny. I love Lizzo. I don't even know how. I think Juice was my introduction to her. I think I heard that song on the radio and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I went and listened to the album and I was like, this bitch is crazy. But in the best way possible.
Okay.
Why men great till they gotta be great? I love Lizzo.
Okay.
She's the one that I just took a DNA test and it turns out.
I know we talked about her. I read the lyrics. You don't believe she freaky? I believe she freaky. We went there.
We did.
We're a Conversation Con Artists.
We are.
And we're back for another wonderful, fantastic episode.
Indeed.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. MISTER_on_point.
And I can be found at red_calamity. Also, we are still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question you'd like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artists, and send it to us that way. Again, just want to give another shout out to Leon. I hope y'all enjoyed last week's episode with him. It was very interesting.
Very interesting, very intriguing. If this is your first time listening or you happen to miss last week's episode, he's a swinger.
Yes.
In the swinging life.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I learned from that episode is that the most salient point that he made was that it's just a hobby.
It's a hobby.
It's just like if you would paint or if you would go to the movie or that's what he do. Like, that's your kind of party that you go to, that's just the parties he go to.
Yeah.
I was kind of trying to put it in the same realm of like, this is a relationship dynamic, like a open relationship or a polyamorous relationship or just a relationship. But it's not a relationship. Like
it's a hobby.
Swinging life ain't got nothing to do with the relationship. And that, open my eyes to that dynamic. But y'all should listen to that episode.
Very interesting. And he's just a cool guy. Like, again, the fact that we get to do this shit and talk to people is just, I still don't get how we got here. Happy we're here though. Happy we're here. We have a letter from Tag.
Yep. It is titled Leon. What's good, self-serving, persuasive talkers of everything and nothing? I enjoyed the discussion y'all had with Leon. I learned a lot. In particular, I learned some new terminology. Rusty trombone. Never knew what that meant. Friendly fire. Genius. And Queen of Spades, I actually Googled that one and checked Reddit, and holy crap. Then it randomly popped up on Twitter. I'm scared of white women. Also, I expected that entry into a community would be more Masonic-like in nature. I thought there would be secret codes and handshakes, etc. That may be wishful thinking. I like secret shit. And as of today, Popeyes is sold out of chicken sandwiches nationwide.
Yeah, I saw that.
They say they'll be bringing it back at a later undetermined date permanently. I guess this was a test run. I'm not sure if this was a genius move or very, very stupid. But I'm happy for all the workers who don't have to deal with the frenzy anymore.
Yeah.
Y'all could do a live stream for the 200th episode, maybe. All right, that's all I have for now. Deuces.
Oh, this is a 200 episode.
It is the 200. Woo! Confetti and shit.
Shit, I forgot.
Yeah, we are not really good with organizing creative shit to do for the show. We're just doing the shit that we doing.
Yeah.
I guess we just need to stop looking at markers and just do special shit when we want to do
Just
special
randomly.
shit.
Yeah, I think that will work out better.
The 100th episode, we were supposed to do a new damn
intro
and everything. Here we are 100 episodes later. That shit didn't happen.
It did. Oh shit, yeah.
The podcast is now on Spotify.
Yay.
If Spotify would make listening easier for you, which it makes it easier for me for podcasts that I listen to that are on Spotify. Yeah. Namely, Government Name is the one I listen to on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
But it continues the podcast when I get in the car for my day. So it's like when my Bluetooth connects, boom, it start back playing a podcast. And that's my problem with listening to podcasts all the way through, is that when I'm listening to them through SoundCloud, it don't continue.
And you're having, because
you
in and out of the car doing shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Popeyes, I think it was genius on the part of the higher ups. The workers that actually had to deal with the bullshit probably don't feel like it was a genius idea. I'm not even really sure why people lost their fucking minds over this chicken sandwich, to be honest. Like, I'm still like, really? But okay. I'm glad it's over. And I don't even work there.
I don't think it was planned.
No.
At all. I think that they did some market testing, which all restaurants do. They find new shit, they test it in the market, they see how it do. It does well. The company that they contract with that makes and batters the chicken if it's frozen, or the place that provides them their chicken breasts if indeed they're not frozen and they just batter them themselves. They came up with that algorithm. They said, okay, this is what the market look like. People like it. This is about how many sales in all of these markets. This is an average. This is how many we'll be having worldwide. What they did not account for was a Facebook post going viral that increased what they planned for by 20. Mm-hmm. So the contract that they had with all the people who do the process of making it, they probably just ran out of shit. And they probably said, at the rate that y'all are selling these chicken sandwiches, y'all got 4-5 more days to sell these chicken sandwiches, and then we out. And so right now what they're probably gonna do is they probably gonna make way too much.
Yeah, because by the time they bring it back, it's not gonna be the frenzy that it has been.
If they figure out how to hop back on that marketing train, then maybe. But I think social media is gonna do it again. I think when that chicken sandwich come back out, posts gonna start coming around saying it's back, and people gonna go back for it, because a lot of people didn't get one.
I didn't get one.
Yeah, a lot of people who wanted one didn't get one.
I was gonna go.
But you don't really care.
I was waiting for it to die down because I didn't want to have to go sit in line for an hour for a goddamn chicken sandwich. So I was trying to wait. I didn't know they were gonna run out.
I was in the line waiting for my chicken sandwich and my car shut off twice. I'm sitting here like, damn. Gotta take this car to the shop. This chicken sandwich better be good. And it was mediocre.
Oh.
Because they didn't prepare it correctly. Yeah. Not because, this shit got delicious potential. But there was a show with 4 hosts on it. They were doing it like a chicken challenge. They was eating all the chicken sandwiches. And a white man was eating the chicken sandwiches. He was like, the seasoning. He was like, look at his face. He said, the seasoning. And then the black dude was like, tastes like a neighborhood you never been to,
I
huh?
saw that video.
They're like, oh, that was a good one. I was like, I mean, that shit was fucked up.
I saw that video.
But it's crazy because the black man was surprised that none of them ever been to a Popeyes.
I don't know why.
What you mean you don't know why?
Why would he be surprised that they've never been to the white
That's
people?
what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that he was surprised that they hadn't been there.
Because, like, they didn't look like Popeyes. Like, there are white people that go to Popeyes. They don't look like the white people that you see in Popeyes.
Yeah, because
like,
you got to live in a certain neighborhood or nearby a certain neighborhood to get to a Popeyes.
And they don't look like they've ever lived in any of those neighborhoods. So, of course, they ain't never had no fucking Popeyes. Why are you surprised by that?
The only one that surprised me around here is that there's a Popeyes in Pelham.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a Popeyes in Pelham. Outside of that, you got to go to Arkadelphia Road.
There's one at Homewood.
Or Homewood.
Yeah.
But that ain't even the bright spot of Homewood.
It ain't
either.
It's not.
You know.
It's not. One about the secret handshakes and it being the secret club. One of the things that I was very glad about having Leon on the show for was that it takes some of the mystique out of some of these alternative lifestyles, because I think that people do see it as something that is so very steep. But like for the people that are in it, like with him, it's a hobby. It's not something that controls their life. It's not the center of who they are. It's just some shit they enjoy doing that happens to be outside the realm of what is socially acceptable for the masses. You know what I'm saying? And so one of the things that I liked about that conversation was that it was able to take some of that away from at least that particular lifestyle. But I think all of them are kind of like that. Any alternative lifestyle you can think of is going to be something where it's just some shit people. Now, you're going to have people in there that utilize it because of maybe something that's happened or went on, but then you have other people who just, it's shit they enjoy doing, so they do it. And it's no deeper than that. So that's why that was the value that I found in that conversation with him, was that everybody kind of got to see that it's just, you know, not as big of a deal as it is for the people on the outside looking in. For us, it's like, oh my God. For them, it's just like, it's Saturday. We're going to go to this party, go home.
Yeah.
Feed my dog. Like, there's nothing. So, are we done with tag?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we move out of this section, I met a 71-year-old this week with a 2-year-old.
Okay. Soldier still marching.
And the mother of the 2-year-old's 37, which is around my age, and I just can't see me fucking no 71-year-old. Now, mind you, the mom did happen to be on drugs. I don't know if that had something to do with it or not. I'm not gonna say. I don't know, but I cannot see me being a drug-free 37-year-old. Seeing a 71-year-old man being like, oh, he fine as shit. Let me go get with him. 71?
I think you got to have a certain level of trauma for shit like that.
And I mean, he ain't gonna...
I mean, is he ugly as fuck?
He look like a 71-year-old man.
Okay, so does he look like a 71-year-old nigga that used to be attractive or not?
No. I don't think so.
Look like he been ugly?
He just a regular looking nigga. Like, he seemed like that dude that when nobody paid no, like, you would walk past him and not like think about it. He's not necessarily ugly. He just ain't nothing about him. I feel like if you 71 out here fucking 37-year-olds, you got to be bad as fuck. Like, he got to be Idris Elba, what is his name? Winston Duke levels of fineness for you to be out here at that age and bitches like that are not on drugs wanting to holler at you.
That's not how that works.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't think it matters with the man on this side. I think it's about your trauma. I think it's about a girl who done been molested by her uncles and stuff in her family, and now she got this propensity to feel desired by older men. And so that's how a 37-year-old can look at somebody, her senior, and be like, oh, I'm going to talk to him and he's nice.
He's got a 40-year-old child, a 28-year-old child, and now a 2-year-old. He's not even... Okay, I'm not going to say that. I don't know how long he's going to live. statistically, his odds of living into this child as an adult go down just because of how old he is. He's gonna be 89.
It ain't about how old he is. It's about how much money he got.
He gets SSI.
So yeah, no, he don't have long. You know, age, how long you live is more closely tied to money.
Yeah.
So if he had money, he would be able to afford to live longer. I'm just, you know, I guess when I think about
a pleasant person, like
there's a lot of dickheads with babies.
I know,
All
but
you need is a meat.
I know, but
and somebody that's willing to accept meat.
So I've seen attractive dickheads, and it's like he an asshole, but I get it. Like, look at him, I get it. You know, obviously it's not where she needs to be, but I get it. He's fine. This ain't that. Like, I know you're saying trauma. Like, ain't nothing else about him. He ain't got no money, so it ain't. You know, I guess. Well, if you're on drugs, money is subjective. He has enough money to help feed the habit, so he has money for her purposes, but to the average person, he ain't got no money. SSI chicks you're not balling out here with those. Like, you're not. He's not attractive physically, and he sound like a 71-year-old man. Like, he talk like old nigga talk. Like, he just talk like an old nigga. I don't even know how to like better explain it than that. He sound like what you would imagine a 71-year-old Southern black man to sound like. What it sound like?
When I hear stories like this, what I think about is when we're born, we start to die.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was having a conversation with somebody about the conversation was we left the gym, and I was talking about how much I hate the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying that if I found a genie, then I would wish for something that'll help. And my wish was that I would wish for my body to be in tip top shape forever. But then I was wondering, do we die because our body fails? Would I inadvertently be, you know, asking for immortality? Or do we die at some point anyway?
I think your body fails. Like, cause you know they'll say when somebody dies of natural cause, your shit just stops.
So
working.
if I wished for my body to be in top shape forever, then I guess that would be inadvertently asking for immortality. If the only reason we die is because our body at some point fails.
Well, could your body be in tip top shape and then you still get cancer or like?
I guess it would depend on whether I'm asking for my body to be in top shape, like my muscles and things as far as appearance goes, or if I would be asking for all of my organs and everything to always be.
Because that's the difference. You can be, the healthiest motherfucker, muscular and shit, and get cancer. So. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know that you would necessarily be immortality because unless you were not going to be susceptible to some of this random shit that people just get just cause you was unlucky enough to draw that shit. But, yeah, our bodies just stop as your body gets older. The shit just don't work as much. I mean, even in my 30s, I feel such a difference from 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel it. I was walking to come into your apartment and my knees were hurting. And I was like, why the fuck are my knees? What the fuck are my knees hurting for? Like, I haven't even done anything. They just get random aches for no goddamn reason. And then I'm in my mid-30s. So I can't imagine 71, 80, like what ailments you have just because your body old as shit. You know, you had these same everything for however many years you're here, unless you have like some kind of a transplant and get like a new heart or something. But all your organs and shit work for years. Like, it's just, I think they just, you have to replace the battery in your car. You can't replace the battery in yourself. So when that shit run out, it just is out.
So the reason I bring that up is because like I was wondering, like, what level of functioning does this part of your body that creates sperm, what level is it functioning at this point?
I wouldn't
like
imagine.
Is it creating sperm at like a 30%
I would
health
imagine.
level or something like that?
It would decrease because like
Like, and does it impact the quality of any sperm, or does it just impact how many sperm you actually create? Because then if you just don't have a lot of sperm, but all of it is the way sperm is supposed to be, you're good, no issues. Or is it going to be like twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito? You remember them? Like, when you young, is all of your sperm like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and when you old, all your sperm is like Danny DeVito. Like, I don't know.
I haven't seen the child, so I don't know what this 2-year-old is working with. But,
I mean, and it'll be fucked up to look at a child and be like, "You definitely a little Danny DeVito, you little weird looking thing."
This is literally this year, the second older man that I met with. Like, the other one he was 60 with a 9-month-old. And again, I'm looking at these niggas like, who the fuck? Like, what? Neither one of them look like somebody that young women would be running after. But both of them, the mothers were on drugs. So the common denominator is that both of these women had drug habits. So I'm sure, again, money is subjective. To a crackhead, SSI is pretty good. It's enough to buy crack with. So
you just gonna put being a crackhead on that woman because she had sex with an old man?
No, I mean, she does. I don't know what her drug of choice is, but I'm assuming it's crack.
But I'm just saying, you assuming she on drugs, period. That's fucked up.
No, he told me she's on drugs.
Oh, you said you didn't know if that was the case. I thought you said that.
She was on drugs. Like, both of these women, I know for sure they were on drugs. I don't know what the drug of choice was. I didn't ask, but they both were on drugs. I'm assuming crack.
Well, I guess you're 71-year-old. You get whatever you can get. Take whatever you can get, I guess.
I mean, I guess. Will you be afraid you would contract? Well, I guess that's again. This is
the same dynamic in nursing homes. They don't give a fuck.
They don't, because they grew up in a time where they was worried about getting bitches pregnant, not catching shit. So listen, for y'all listening. Sorry to have to tell you this. I think I've said this before though. If you do not know, nursing homes have very high rates of STDs because especially like the older people we have now. Their concern growing up was not getting bitches pregnant or not getting pregnant. And so once you get old and that's not a worry and concern anymore, they don't really be thinking about contracting shit. So they be passing all kind of shit around at the nursing home because they all be in there fucking.
Did you know in the 70s, women used to society used to refer to women's periods as the curse?
I mean, but
there's a
biblically, this was the punishment for that was something that I had this week that I was like, I hope I remember to say this or ask this. What the fuck? It wasn't even, okay? The eating of the apple and the punishment that was given wasn't even. Niggas gotta work they whole like work to feed. That was the punishment. Bitches, that was not even. Like, pain of childbirth and periods, that's not even to you having to go to work for what the fuck? And now women work too. That's not even.
Listen,
it was not an even punishment.
That shit didn't happen.
Well, but the curse, they're calling it that because it was essentially a curse from God for them eating the apple. That was the punishment.
First off, it was not an apple.
Fruit. Eating the fruit, whatever.
Forbidden fruit.
Whatever.
You can't eat it. I don't know why the fuck. Like, that's the shit. Why the fuck would God? This is the thing we doing. Like, what the fuck would God create a fruit that you have access to? Like, he could have made a tree taller than any other fucking tree that ever done existed and no way to make a ladder. And the shit never fell off the tree because it was so thick. You got to pull them. He could have done that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that gets to the question, like, is there a component of God that, like, want to see what you gonna do? But then
he
already know what you gonna do. So why would he? So the only way that he would put something in your way, knowing that you would act upon it at some point, means that we would be experiments. Because the only thing he wouldn't know maybe is how it's gonna happen. I mean, well, he would know everything technically. Mm-hmm. So same thing for dinosaurs. Like, some people don't believe dinosaurs existed. Because dinosaurs exist and have to conflict with a lot of the stuff the Bible say because it's a time before the Bible. Mm-hmm. And so, well, if that's the case, and God created the world, that means God put dinosaur bones in the ground.
But did he create? I don't remember. I don't remember the creation story to this extent. Did he create the animals and shit first and then create man, or did he create man and then create animals for company for him? Like,
I don't know,
because if he created
man.
the animals first, then there could have been the dinosaurs. They was there chilling.
Well, what the reality? I mean, there is no timeline after Adam and Eve existed. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, the snake was in the garden eating. So did he create the snakes after he created Adam and Eve, or did he create them before he created Adam and Eve?
I can't remember.
I mean, I know Adam named the animals, but does that mean that they were there before Adam and God was like, "Hey, we ain't got no names for these things, man. Just whatever you want to say is fine. Just call them some shit, refer to them as something, and cool." And furthermore, where did words come from at that point? How limited was Adam's vocabulary? He was like, bird, fox. I mean, what the elephant? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. But it's called a curse because it was the punishment that was given for eating that forbidden fruit. But it was not an even fucking punishment. Women been getting the short end of the deal since fucking forever. Like, kind of shit.
Because it got less to do with the Bible and it got more to do with how two biological life forms were created. Okay? In order for life to continue through y'all, this is just what y'all got to do.
Well, so, okay, if humans were the ones that fucked up and the animals that had nothing to do with it, why animals have to go through childbirth the way they go through it too? They ain't do nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what?
They ain't do nothing. That was our punishment. The fuck?
Maybe our punishment is being useless for like the first whole 2 years. Because animals drop out of their mama and a giraffe will drop down and start walking immediately. We can't even hold our fucking head up. Nigga about to get our neck broke because our parent ain't holding us, supporting our head right. Our head gonna be out here dangling like a damn bobblehead.
Oh shit.
Maybe that's the real punishment.
Maybe so, because like I've always wanted, like, animals also go through childbirth. And it's painful for them. They didn't do nothing. They weren't the ones that fucked up. So why is it that they have the same kind of shit that happens? That don't make no sense. And was that already the way that it was? Because the animals were already, they existed when they fucked up. So were the animals already making more animals in this way? Or I don't know.
Look, man, we already know that God is in the game of modifications, okay? Yes. God was like a mad scientist when Adam was out here because for some reason, he had some extra fucking ribs to spare. So God was like, God was either like, look, Adam, you lonely, man. I really don't know what to do about that. Wait a minute, I'm God. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Let me create a parallel to you and y'all can interact. And y'all can have this thing called sex. But I ain't gonna tell you about that yet. And then he was like, okay, I'm gonna take some ribs out of you. And I wonder if he got Adam's consent. Like, I wonder if he was like, look, Adam, listen,
he ain't
Adam.
gotta ask for no permission.
I know he don't, but I'm just saying, was he like, listen, Adam, this shit gonna feel real funny, but I promise you gonna fuck with it, my boy. You gonna fuck with it. And then he pulled his ribs out. Or if he was just like, hey, Adam, look, it's the bird you named. And he turned around and he was like, ah, motherfucker. Got your ribs. I'm coming back. And then Eve was out there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just, there's a lot of holes. There's a lot of plot holes in the Bible.
There are.
You know, like if you're looking for a story that fill in a lot of shit, it's a lot of plot holes.
And I told you, my mom's answer, I was a very curious child, and I've always questioned things that don't make sense or things that have holes. And my mom, her response, anytime I would ask her about shit that didn't make sense or that, like, is something missing with this story, she would be like, well, you don't question God. I ain't questioning God. I'm questioning you. You the one telling me this. I'm asking you. I ain't questioning him.
That's conditioning. She's like, you ain't finna drag me to hell with your goddamn questioning
Because
ass.
you ain't got no answer. You gonna tell me don't question God. I ain't questioning him. I didn't say, God, how is it? I asked mama how was you don't have no answer for that. Just say you ain't got no answer. Don't be sitting up here trying that like I'm being a heathen and shit. Like, I'm just asking questions. You should have the answers to. You should know what you believe in. Hell.
But that's not how conditioning works.
It isn't.
Conditioning is the work of making you act on something that you don't know why you fucking believe it or why you do it. You just doing it because somebody told you to do it.
It didn't work on me. The conditioning failed. I always question it. Always.
And our pastor used to say, if you're old enough to know right from wrong, you're old enough to go to hell. And I'm like, okay. But what if you don't know Jesus because you were born in a country that don't have Jesus?
I asked my mom that, and my mom, her answer to me, because I was like, what about Buddhists and all of these people who are raised from the time they get here to believe in something else? She was like, well, at some point in their life, they'll have an opportunity to come to Jesus. How you know that?
But my mama said the same shit. So it's like,
How you know that?
like Christians have like a newsletter that release from God into their heads that just say, hey, when somebody asks you this
Then what you
question,
say?
this is the answer you get. Kind of like the Republicans and Democrats. Like, they get newsletters in their email saying, okay, some bullshit happened. This how we gonna spin this. Say this on the shows. Like, I'm sorry for all Christians that's hard to hear this part of our dialogue, but you gotta understand. I got Christianity trauma, okay? I'm sorry. Don't put your kids in church 5 and 6 days a week. They gonna be like me. All right?
And
trust me on that.
Live a hypocritical life and then try to put your kids in church because they're gonna be like me. Because I got, on the one hand, you making us go to church and talking about God and how he has a plan for everything, and on the other, I'm watching my dad piss on himself because he's getting drunk. Like, none of this stuff don't line up. The way you live in your life don't line up with the shit. But the
essence of Christianity is you can be forgiven for those things, though. You don't have to be, judged for that your entire life. It's like, church is for you to repent. Like, God already know you gonna fuck up.
Yes.
Period. He could have created perfect creatures, but you know what? He decided to create flawed creatures, and he knew you was gonna mess up. So he giving you an opportunity to repent. You can change your heart many times over your life.
I guess.
So
I don't know.
If you don't have a story, how do you even? That's what pastors are, man. Pastors got stories. I used to smoke crack on the corner, and I almost sucked some dicks. But the only thing I'm smoking now is the Bible. That's what they do. They tell some crazy shit about their life. Make some weird little metaphor allegory situation, and then you don't be no closer to understanding what the hell they've been through.
Nope.
A pastor would never say that they suck some dicks.
No,
they would say I've done some things.
I would, yes. They would keep it
that
very
shit,
general.
That was sexual. If your pastor say I've done some things now, if they not willing to admit it, because pastors, they'll admit a lot of shit. If they ain't willing to admit something but they bring it up, it's sexual. It's that's what I think.
Do you want to talk about that scenario now, or
let's just go through it for a second.
Okay.
This posts go viral on Facebook for whatever reason, and this one was about relationships, and I just gonna see how you felt about it.
All right.
My husband is throwing a temper tantrum because I had dinner with my ex, who is leaving for prison for the remainder of his life,
Bitch.
and just wanted to apologize for any hurt he caused me and say goodbye. Kiki. Boy, boo, I needed that closure. Cry about it then.
Girl, okay, listen. First of all, the fact that a nigga you used to fuck with is finna go to jail for the whole rest of his goddamn life lets me know a lot about you. Secondly, what close? You done married a whole nother human being. What are you talking about? You needed that closure for what? Why? So you been walking around with a need for closure inside of this marriage with this man this whole goddamn time, and he supposed to just be all right with you wanting to go. Well, did she visit him in jail? Is he in jail? Or you getting ready to go off?
That's my dilemma.
Because
who knows that they're going to jail for life and then gets to go have a meal after that?
Yeah,
once you get sentenced, you going
go
straight home.
Hell yeah.
It's home now.
It's prison. You go there from there. Yeah.
So I think she got finessed. I think that man wasn't finna go to no jail for the rest of his life because he don't know it. Or they assumed that he was gonna get a life sentence for what he did,
and he
hadn't been sentenced yet.
Because once you get sentenced, you don't go back home.
Yeah, like how are you having a meal with somebody who you know is going to prison for the rest of his life?
Because they have prisons where it's a transfer prison where you stay there till you gonna go to whatever permanent transfer. You could sit in jail while you're awaiting sentencing or awaiting to be transported. Like, they don't just let you be out here walking the fuck around after you've been sentenced.
And even if you have been sentenced and have an opportunity to have a meal, what the fuck? You gonna go eat corn dogs with one pack of mustard with this motherfucker at the goddamn prison? Why the fuck would you do that? What closure are you finna get?
What closure are you going that you again, at the point that you have decided to embark upon marriage with somebody else, the fact that you are saying that you needed to go get closure and you're not being respectful of his feelings about it, talking about, boy, bye, I need that bitch, listen. That's not how that works. You don't get to just decide those things and say he shouldn't be mad about it. No. Why do you need closure?
I mean, if my girlfriend wanted closure with her ex, then I guess the question would be, did she have a conversation with him about this? Or and she told him I was gonna have dinner and he's throwing a temper tantrum, or she just went and he found out.
I mean, it sounded like even if she had planned it out and told him prior to, she was going. She didn't give a fuck how he felt about it. So even if it had been a conversation prior to her going, she was still gonna go regardless of how he felt. She just decided this is what she was gonna do. Which, that's not how shit works when you are, especially not in a marriage with somebody. Like, and again, what closure are you getting from him that is gonna make a difference now in your life when you've moved on? And again, you got a whole husband out here. The fuck? Give a fuck about that nigga? Why? And then he probably, this nigga looking for somebody to put money on his books. That's what I would think. Like, nigga, you just trying to get in good, so I put some money on them books so you can sell cigarettes to keep them off your ass. That's what you trying to do, but it's not gonna work. Because I just don't understand. If one of my, even, I'm not even with nobody. If one of my exes called me and was like, I'm about to go to prison, I just wanted to like meet up with you. You got bigger fish to fry, my nigga, than worried about talking to my black ass. You finna go to life, nigga?
Not only that, but if it took something life-threatening for you to say, I fucked up. What? I mean, I don't care.
Nope.
I mean, why would you care? I mean, it gives the sign that she's still, concerned enough with this dude to cater to what he wants in this moment.
Which is not okay.
Yeah, and maybe a husband should be mad about that.
And the thing, look, this what and I tell folks this: you don't get to determine whether or not somebody gets upset about something. Like, I can't say, well, you shouldn't be mad about this because I wouldn't be mad if it was the other way around. Okay, that's you. You can't tell people how they should feel about shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get to say, well, I wouldn't get upset about it, so you shouldn't be upset about it, so this shouldn't be a problem. That's not how relationships work. You have to be respectful of how the other person feels. Same way you want them to be respectful of how you feel. She was wrong as fuck. And the fact that you are being so cavalier about it is just, let that nigga take care of you. Oh, my bad. He can't because he in prison now. Go live with him. Oh, wait, my bad. You can't because the nigga's in prison. Let him pay that car note. Oh, wait, that's right. He can't. He's in prison. Like, the fuck? Don't do that. That's not. Listen, if you done got into a whole nother relationship with somebody, especially not just a relationship, but you married this other person, the closure need to have already happened. The doors of all of this other shit need to have already been closed before you move into this new door, especially before you get married. If they were dating I still wouldn't get why she would want to do it, but I think I could accept it a little bit more. But this man whole wife out here. No, bitch, no.
Yeah.
It's not okay. So if you have a question you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artist, and send it to us that way. Let me see.
Let me hop into mine first.
Okay.
Just continuing up on Popeyes.
Yeah.
When Popeyes broke, right?
Mm-hmm.
The undertone of this conversation was regarding black people, because we already talked about Popeyes being in the hood.
Yeah.
And so many people were going to Popeyes.
Yes.
So this one young man had the idea of going to Popeyes and registering the people to vote. And so a whole bunch of celebrities was having these dialogues. Janelle Monáe being one of them. Janelle Monáe was like, we need to put a voting registration system inside all the Popeyes and blah, 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 blah. She came back out and apologized. Charlamagne on the Breakfast Club was like, I don't know why she apologized and I don't see it's bad. But you got to understand, what that teenager in North Carolina learned is that damn near everybody he was fucking trying to register to vote was already registered to vote. So the assumptions that come along with a whole bunch of black folks being in one place is that, oh, they'll put this energy into a chicken sandwich, but they ain't putting this much energy into voting. Like, how fucking insulting is that to a culture? And is us insulting us?
Yes. And I mean, it wasn't even just voting. I saw so many people saying, oh, you'll support this, but y'all don't support black business owners, and y'all out here going to power. Like, just a number of things that people was using as an equivalent to going to Popeyes and getting a goddamn sandwich. This is not that deep. People going to Popeyes for lunch to get a chicken sandwich is not the cross for you to down. It isn't. And you assuming that the people who are going to partake of this sandwich are people that are going to be unregistered voters. The fact that you think people that are going to partake of this sandwich are people that are not going to be people that don't support black businesses and don't, like, the fuck out of here. Where are you getting that assumption from? Because I wanted to Popeyes today and I didn't want to go to whatever fucking black owned place today. Like,
I mean, listen, if you're a black owned business and you're accessible to me and you sell a chicken sandwich better than Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, I might come holler at it, as long as your restaurant ain't named Shuckin' and Jivin'.
Oh, fuck, I hate that name.
Yeah, I'm not coming to that.
No.
I'm not coming to that.
I'm not going in there.
I'm not going to say I'm not coming to that.
I ain't going in there.
I might go in there.
I ain't going to go in there motherfucking shucking and jiving.
I'm trying to find moments of clarity where I can be more honest with my damn self. Maybe I would. It depends on what I'm hearing about this chicken sandwich and how it looks. It's like, damn, am I really going to deny myself deliciousness because of the name of this establishment? I don't think so.
I wouldn't go.
Hell, I go to Cracker Barrel.
Y'all talk so much shit about Cracker Barrel. Y'all don't even like to go. I love Cracker Barrel, and I don't even ask when we be trying to decide where we're gonna go for. I never say Cracker Barrel because I don't want to hear y'all nigga shit. I don't.
I'll go to Cracker Barrel. Listen, I'll go to Cracker Barrel with you if it's 1-on-1 and you want to go and they don't want to go. I'll go to Cracker Barrel with you. I just know where I'm at when I'm there. In Slave Past, I know where I'm at. It definitely ain't Nigga Tub.
It's not.
It's Cracker Barrel.
I hate y'all. I don't know. People just be looking for shit to complain about. That's how I feel.
We definitely need to vote, but being registered ain't got shit to do with that, man. That's systemic shit. That's like in Birmingham, they closed down all of the fucking satellite locations to do shit because why? Because it stigmatized people who did not have transportation and lived in more rural areas. That's how they do that shit. That's why. That ain't why we ain't registered, and we are registered. But why we don't vote is because they made it difficult to vote systemically. So it's some shit that need to be changed in the system to do that. And if y'all want to do that, then y'all holler at Stacey Abrams and the initiative she got going on. I ain't gonna talk about it on this show, but go read up on what she got going on if you really want to impact how the black community is voting.
This is one of the most random couplings that I have seen in a while.
Coupling.
Yes.
Okay.
Jeannie May.
Okay.
And Jeezy.
Okay. Who is Jeannie Mae?
She's a lady from is it The Real? She's the Asian lady from I want to say she's from The Real. She got divorced because her husband changed. Like, she never wanted kids. She told him she didn't want kids. He was cool with that. He changed his mind and wanted kids and went out and got a bitch pregnant.
Oh, she dating Jeezy.
She's dating Jeezy. That's what I mean by couplings. They're coupled up.
I don't know. I thought you was meaning like pickles and ice cream. Not
That
like
is
a
like
couple.
pickles
I
and
mean,
ice
not like a
cream.
couple. I thought you was two things that don't go together.
No, they're together.
I thought you were finna say like they opened up a fucking
They're dating each other.
exotic animal international business or some shit. That would still be an odd coupling.
Yes, it would.
But you talking about a relationship.
They're in a relationship together. It's just very fucking random. I would not have put those two together. I just wouldn't have put them together. I don't know.
I listened to half of Jeezy's Breakfast Club interview, and he just sounded like a reformed ass thug.
And maybe that's why she's getting a reformed version of him, and so maybe, he was suited and booted in that suit he had on.
That man music.
I feel like maybe probably not. During his was he the snowman?
Mm-hmm.
During his snowman days. I don't know. I would not have put them together with each other. Like, it's just not I don't know. I saw it and at first I was like, oh, this got to be made up.
Why though? Because I don't know her. Is it because she Asian and you didn't expect Jeezy to date somebody that ain't black?
No.
Is it because she wild ratchet and Jeezy is more reformed now than he had been before? Like, what is her personality? Is she like really, really reserved? So dating a Jeezy is like...
She's not really reserved, but like, I wouldn't have put him with anybody that has like a morning time talk show. I just wouldn't have thought that. And she was married to a white man. The man that left her because he wanted a baby was white. And that happened. She was in the news because everybody was, saying he wasn't shit for that because she was always honest with him about the fact that she didn't want to have kids. And then he changed his mind and immediately went out and made a baby with somebody else. And so they got a divorce. But I don't know. I just wouldn't. It's just a random. Where the fuck did they even meet at? Where would she have been at to meet Jeezy?
She on The Real, man. Who ain't somebody black on The Real? Everybody on there black, ain't they?
Mm-mm. Not everybody.
Most of the people. Is that the one with one of them twins on it?
Yes.
I don't know nothing about these shows, man.
It used to have
Tamar Braxton, right?
Uh-huh. But who replaced her? I don't remember.
Ain't no telling, man. They probably was like, girl, you ain't been to no real parties. You need to come with us. They be having rappers. You'll get you a rapper.
Okay, Adrienne Bailon.
Hey, girl, go talk to Jeezy.
The girl from 3LW. She's on there.
Which one? Not the one with the lisp.
Not the one with the
dark skin.
Yes.
The
other one.
The other one. All right.
She's on there. Tamara.
Promises.
Lonnie Love is the other one. Lonnie Love with a white man. I don't understand where she would have come into contact. Like, nobody on that panel would have introduced her to G. Maybe Tamar ain't on that no more.
They didn't have no overlap, her and Jeannie.
They did, but like nobody liked Tamar, which is why she got booted off the show. Tamar was not they weren't friends with her. That's why she not on that no more. So I can't imagine it would have been Tamar. And maybe Adrian, because she did music, Tamara and her white fox man ain't gonna be in talking to Jesus. Like, she ain't doing it. So the only person I could potentially see, maybe Adrian, may introduce her to Jesus, and that's because she used to do music. No, I don't know.
Maybe she just hood anyway. She look hood.
How she look? She like a hood Asian
You
lady.
see this picture right here? She got blue hair, streaks. She look like the Asian girl that grew up in the goddamn hood. Hell, we don't know where she from. San Jose, California.
That's some California shit. They
To a
just do that.
Vietnamese mother and a Chinese father. That's taboo.
It is taboo.
Why this shit say? Listen, this shit. Gianni Cantu Mai was born and raised in San Jose, California, to a Vietnamese mother and a Chinese father. She attended Milpitas High School. When she was 9 years old, she was sexually abused by her older cousin.
Why
the fuck would that be? See, the Wikipedia boy be fucking your life up, man. Like, if I had my own Wikipedia, I have to go edit that shit every day.
So she converted from to Christianity from Buddhism, and Freddie was the man that she married. They announced that they had finalized their divorce or filed for divorce in 2017, and it was finalized in 2018. But it was because he wanted a baby. I just wouldn't have. I don't know. It just I wouldn't have put them together.
Freddie Hartees looked like a slime ball.
Oh yeah, he wasn't. And look, she went from him to Jeezy. Those two men have nothing in common. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe she was like, "Fuck this, I'm gonna go all the way in the other."
He looked like a trailer park Seth MacFarlane.
I hate you so much.
He do. He looked like a failed Seth MacFarlane clone.
Ooh, fuck. Oh, I can't stand you.
Shit. Check him out, man. He do look like that.
I've seen him. I saw him
about
with the
people
store.
listening. Go find Freddie Hartees and tell me he don't look like a damn fetal alcohol syndrome Seth MacFarlane. He does.
You done gave him fetal alcohol syndrome. God damn.
Dude, you see how fucking Seth MacFarlane eyes look? Quit acting like you don't know what damn fetal alcohol syndrome eyes look.
Oh my goodness.
They eyes don't have that extra skin on them. You know when he laughed, his eyes damn near closed. He looked like that.
Oh,
don't drink alcohol when you're pregnant.
I'm happy for her because I did feel bad for her at the time that this all happened, because you don't get again, if somebody tell you some shit up front and you agree to it, you don't get to change the rules later because you changed your goddamn mind. If she was told you that she didn't want kids ever in life, because you get older and agreed to that, it was like, yeah, I don't want kids neither. You cannot 6 years into the marriage be like, I want a fucking baby. Nigga, no, you don't. I already told you what I ain't doing. Like,
the thing is, we don't even know how he came across his child. Like, I doubt he got into that relationship and was like, I want a baby with you. I didn't with the last one.
Oh, no.
The condom broke, or she missed a pill, or...
I mean, some women, I don't know. Some side pieces will be with like having a baby because they know that he's going to eventually have to leave the wife or something's going to happen with the wife. So I don't know. She might have been with it.
But he might have, but regardless of how that came about, the person that they left who they didn't want to have a baby with, ain't number one way to perceive that. Mm-hmm. You didn't want to have no baby with me. They don't think about all the extra variables potentially in the situation. Which I understand.
Like I said, she was very clear. She's always been very, like, even on the show, being very vocal about her not, because like everybody, society look at women as baby makers, and so if you're a woman and you say you don't want to be a mom and you don't want to ever have a kid, niggas look at you like you got two heads and some shit. Like, what you mean you don't want to be a mother? You have a uterus, don't you? Like, people look at that like it's just the most horrific thing ever. And so she was very vocal about her not wanting to have kids, even on the show. And so, for him, again, you don't get to change your mind. If she told you that from jump, then you made a decision to never have kids by being with her. You don't get to change your fucking mind. or make her change her mind. He kept trying to get her to change her mind and give him a baby. Nigga, bye. I already told you what it was, and you agreed to it, nigga. So yeah, Jenny May, I don't know how Ma is, and Jeezy are a thing. I don't know. It was very. First of all, you don't really hear much about Jeezy these days. Just anyway.
I mean, you gotta listen to rap.
He's still making music.
Yes, his last album, his last Thug Motivation, just came out. They were saying that it's his last album, but I think that it's just his last album on Def Jam, and it's his last in the Thug Motivation installment.
So is she gonna be at his concerts rapping lyrics? Like, I just don't see them together.
They two celebrities, man. They don't need that life. What they do and what they gonna do is she gonna record her TV show and go to wherever the home is, and he gonna do whatever his business moves is and go to where the home is, and they gonna chill, and they gonna go live their separate lives. Like, I don't think they gotta be doing everybody's shit. Jeezy ain't, like, you gotta have a Gabrielle Union D Wade relationship for that shit, because he came to America's Got Talent and was a judge on the show with her.
She was at his games all the time.
Exactly. Like, everybody ain't gotta have that life.
Everybody don't, but I don't know. It's just weird. It's just a weird pairing, I guess. I wouldn't have put them together, but shit, it might work.
You seen the Dave Chappelle stand up?
I haven't watched it. I've heard it's funny, but I haven't watched it. I gotta watch it.
It's funny. He got some stuff that clearly some groups ain't gonna be happy with.
I saw the trans stuff.
You know, it's Dave Chappelle, so it's funny because it's Dave Chappelle, and if nothing else, how he structures jokes and how he integrates, like, he always integrates some like extreme component to it to kind of like drive in the funny. Mm-hmm. But he had a joke where he made a Chinese face. Or Asian face, and his wife didn't like it.
Oh yeah,
you know, and I guess they, had a little back and forth about liking. And I guess it seemed like he do that in his relationship. He run his jokes about her, and then, or maybe he don't run them all by her, but maybe he run done by her that would talk about Asian culture or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's just, I just thought about that from something that was said. What do we say?
Let's talk about them, how they not the...
Yeah, just how they, that's their relationship interaction. But I guess I was just speak on the Dave Chappelle special to some degree. Man, it's a lot of right wing people that love Dave Chappelle stand up. And it ain't because it's Dave Chappelle. It's because I know that they interpret it as him fighting back against PC culture, where you're forced to be politically correct. Mm-hmm. And I consider myself an ally to a lot of groups, right? I don't get out on no picket lines. I don't get out on them, but like I support groups through dialogue. Mm-hmm. The kids I work with, if they have a misconception about LGBT stuff, I correct them. Mm-hmm. Now they can think what they want to think, but I'm not gonna let them continue carrying out ignorance. Yeah. If it's fact based, I don't give them my opinions. But if it's fact based, then I just kind of like, hey, that's like the nature of my allyship with all these different groups. So a big part of me feeling like I am a strong ally is not laughing at stuff that's a problem. And so I'm looking at these posts about Dave Chappelle stand up and people saying, man, it's just jokes. It's just jokes. And I'm like, that don't hold up to me. Because if he was just joking about your mama, you wouldn't say it's just jokes. You'll be ready to fight. If Dave Chappelle was having a dialogue about your failures, because for some reason he was roasting you, you're not going to say it's just jokes. You're going to have a problem with that situation. Mm-hmm. What we have in our society is that people are okay with content as long as it don't have nothing to do with me.
Yes.
I just wish society was honest about it. I wish a motherfucker would just say, them trans people problems, them ain't got nothing, that ain't got nothing to do with me. This shit is funny to me. Them y'all problems. I just wish people would be that fucking honest. People don't acknowledge their own biases and why they are the way they are. They would rather say society is just making it hard for people to say what they want to say. You know? And Dave Chappelle talked about cancel culture to a degree. Cancel culture don't exist to me. I mean, it's a rhetoric about canceling somebody, but who the fuck can we name that's truly been impacted in the comedy world because of cancel culture? Nobody. Comedians don't get canceled for saying what they say. Kathy Griffin got fucked up because she had a fucking decapitated head of Donald Trump. That is far different than just PC culture.
Yeah.
I don't think that exists. Now, in music, Chrisette Michele definitely fucking got canceled. Her career was impacted immediately. But it wasn't even about PC shit.
No, it wasn't.
It was about her aligning herself with the enemy is probably how many people would.
Essentially.
Look at it.
Yeah, and her reasoning for it about her getting in there having conversations. Bitch, bye.
So it's hard to
skirt.
So it's hard to say this. It's hard to say that Dave Chappelle's stand-up was problematic, but it was also funny and well thought. It was also thought-provoking. It was all of these things. So for me, there's just some content in it that I'm not willing to laugh at because it's not my problems. Those are problems that people have. And Dave Chappelle just doubled down on the trans community, maybe because they fucked with him heavy, or maybe because it ain't got nothing to do with, like, get back to them. Maybe he legitimately, in his mind, can't conceptualize how nobody else finds their predicament hilarious. Mm-hmm. You know? And maybe that at that comedian core and that comedian nature, maybe that's why he continued to fuck with those things. But to me, he came off like the old man who say, you know, these 8-tracks sound good. I don't know nothing about this CD stuff. Or the old man who say, man, this TV get good picture. He don't seem to be concerned with adjusting to the times if it costs him his ability to say what he wants to say. Mm-hmm. You know, even if it offends somebody, even if it's content that's fucked up. But I mean, it's funny though. It's just some moments in there that I'm not willing to laugh at because somebody's going through shit with that. But the thing is, I'll laugh at every goddamn thing when our society reached peak equality. Mm-hmm. When everybody look the same and everybody experiences the same, then everything can be funny. But as long as there are people that are struggling to just be acknowledged as something other than fucking terrible or the others or I don't fucking understand you or being murdered at a higher rate just from how they exist, I can't laugh at it now, man. Even if it is, you know, traditionally something I would laugh at. Mm-hmm. I'm just not interested in laughing at stuff that hurt somebody else that don't hurt me. And not saying that everybody else got to live by my standard. I won't judge you by living by your own standard, but like that's where I am with the situation. I don't know why I went on that little rant because that was not a part of my story. Is none of that shit.
I was gonna talk about this last week, but we had Leon and had to cut it down. But I do want to mention this just off of Cassie, Diddy's ex, is pregnant and engaged to this dude she's with now.
Is he white?
He's white. Alex Fine.
Alex Fine.
Yeah, that's his name. His name is Alex Fine. And look, Cassie was with Diddy for a very long time. And I guess all I really want to say about this is that, one, it don't take forever for somebody to recognize whether or not that they want to be with you and have kids, you know, to make that determination. I don't even know. When did me and you come out? She been with Diddy for a long fucking time. I don't even know when me and you came out. But I feel like the shit started shortly thereafter. And that doesn't mean that she gonna get with Alex and it's gonna work out just because she got pregnant and he's willing to marry her. It doesn't mean that at all. But it does mean that he was willing to move forward. Where Diddy seemed she was just one of his harem of women. You know, you gotta know what it is that you want and don't accept less than that. Because if you accept less, you're gonna get less. That's just what it is. You're gonna get the absolute least that I have to give if that's what you're willing to accept. And in less than a year, she's got a baby and a fiance. After years and years and years, we did it not even. I mean, he acknowledged her as one of his girlfriends, but that was kind of it.
You mines. You married? What? Hell no. I'm too old for that shit.
But
if I ain't married my baby mama,
yeah,
my twins, what make you think I'm gonna marry your ass? I don't know, Stan. I don't care about marriage.
Well, but if you are somebody that cares, and I've always felt like she wanted more than what he was giving her, but she accepted it because he Diddy and the lifestyle. But that shit only go for so long. Like living that lifestyle and not being treated the way that you want to be treated within the relationship, it only gets you so fucking far. Like at some point that's gonna become problematic, especially with her being as young, so much younger than he is. Diddy, her and Alex is around the same age, but Diddy way older than her. Especially with that being the case, like the money was only gonna be satisfying for so long. And I think that's what happened. She got tired of that shit. She got tired of the dynamic of their relationship. The money didn't compensate for that anymore.
I'm sure it did something. I hope she got something out of the relationship. Like they weren't married, so it's like I hope Diddy wasn't like, hope you enjoyed all the shit I got, bitch. Bye. And like
I think a lot
she ain't got no money or
the opportunities because she does a lot of modeling and stuff now, and I think that's what she took from that relationship. She got the opportunity to be introduced to all of these different things because she stayed doing photo shoots for companies and shit. I think that's how she make her money. Listen, let's just be honest. Cassie cannot fucking sing. I hated that Me and You song. I hated that goddamn song with a passion. Hated it so much. She cannot sing. I hope that she's able to continue doing her modeling shit because that's where she needs her focus. The singing shit, it's out.
But you hate a lot of shit, Red. You hate a lot of shit.
What's that have to do with anything?
I don't think your baseline is the scale by which we should measure a lot of shit.
Did you think that she could sing?
I don't even know what that song is. I don't know what Cassie sound like. I don't.
It's me. The chorus was like, it's
only
me and you.
I know is me and you, your mama and your cousin too. Rolling down the strip on Vokes, coming up slamming Cadillac doors.
It's not that.
Okay, well I don't know what the fuck it is then.
If you
that ain't even called Me and You.
If you hear the song, you will remember it. It was a very popular song when it came out. She can't sing. Her voice is not. She just ain't. That's why. Listen, this is why she was with Diddy, who does music, and she ain't make no more goddamn music after that. She can't sing. She started doing modeling shit. Like she can't sing. She can't sing. But she's very pretty.
Whatever. So
hopefully her modeling shit continue. I don't know what Alex does with the man. He ain't Diddy. He ain't got Diddy money, but he does something. I don't know what Alex does. But and that's the thing. Everybody kept talking about how she left and he, left all that money to be with this dude. Again, money only gets you so far. At some point, especially if you're wanting to have a more stable relationship, I ain't even gonna say marriage because you can have a stable relationship without being married. But if you're wanting that commitment and like kids, and the nigga you with won't give it to you, money only makes that okay for so long. And so, yes, Alex may not have as much money as Diddy, and she may not be able to do the shit she was doing when she was with Diddy. But if he is treating her better, willing to be more committed to her, they finna have a kid together. For some people, that is enough. And if you need a sugar daddy and you need the money, then girl, okay. But everybody is not like that. Not everybody is just gonna be satisfied with being one of Diddy's many bitches.
But it's better than R. Kelly style. At least Diddy got consent.
He does have consent. She was there of her own free will, and she left of her own free will.
She ain't have no cage.
She did not. You saw her out and about. They were going to the events together. You never saw R. Kelly girls.
Never
take
until
them hoes nowhere.
people started saying where they at. Then magically they was on a trip to Disney World. Now
He ain't take them bitches nowhere.
they was out somewhere being free.
Hell no.
Let them women out be free.
Did you say women's?
I did. I didn't say it with an S. I just said women.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna continue talking about Jay-Z as this NFL season continues, because we talked about the deal he struck with the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And on August 29th, the NFL and Rock Nation announced the launch of Inspire Change apparel and songs of the season as part of their new partnership. So
He's selling shirts. What the hell is song of the season?
I guess the songs that they gonna play in commercials and stuff and advertisements that the NFL sponsors.
How is this helping push?
I don't know. I have no
It's a fucking
idea.
t-shirt.
I don't know what people thought this shit was gonna be. Okay, I don't think people thought Jay-Z was gonna trot off in the NFL and be like, "Hey, motherfuckers, y'all ain't finna be treating black folks crazy. Why y'all doing Colin Kaepernick like this?" I don't know why people thought that.
I don't think everybody thought that, but like a t-shirt ain't it.
Listen, Jay-Z made all of his moves silently. And people were posting a shitload of articles about Jay-Z and all the community and advocacy and shit he did. He moves silently.
He does.
So nobody know what the fuck this is. And I don't know. I'm not optimistic. It ain't no system that a lone black person done came up against that was as deep rooted in white shenanigans as the NFL or the government or the police department or whatever system that you want to talk about, education, whatever you want to talk about. There's been no system that's been that steeped in white people that a black person that came in and just lived. I don't know how to fix this shit. They don't want to change. The NFL don't want to change. What they want to change is the perception of the community that they've stigmatized because of how they dealt with Colin Kaepernick kneeling. That's what they want to do. And I just don't see Jay-Z being the solution. And I definitely don't see the beginning to that being them letting him choose some clothes and choose a soundtrack for the NFL. That really sound like shit. That sound like, to me, like getting an interview at a big executive place and you get your best suit and you put it on. But the only thing they really was going to interview you for is the janitor position. They weren't really looking for you to have no office or none of that shit. They was just like, "So how's your mop hands?" And you like, "What? What do you mean?" "Oh, we need a janitor." Like a janitor? You think I put this goddamn suit on for a janitor role? Like, that's what I feel like Jay-Z gonna be doing at some point. The only problem is, I'm gonna call it the Steve Harvey effect. Because Steve Harvey went to go visit Trump and said, "I'm gonna help with urban housing development," and I guess he got up there and was like, "This is a fucking ploy. Let me get the fuck out of here." But Jay-Z done steeped his hands in too deep.
Yeah.
Jay-Z got too much on his hands now. You can't. I mean, he got a contract. He can't just get out of this shit if he wanted to. Like if he go into Roger Goodell's office and he be like, "Yeah, nigga, this a private ass meeting," and in your contract it says if you talk any shit about anything that leave this room, your motherfucking ass getting sued for every bit of penny you got. Okay? Yeah, you're a fucking tool. That's why we hired your ass. You think we was finna let your black ass come in here and change shit? No. We just need black people to come back because we have seen dips in numbers. We can't get these goddamn black celebrities to perform at these damn shows in the halftime. Even white people don't want to do this shit. Maroon 5 got roasted for coming out here. This is not the kind of perception that we need. We need your help to get people here. And yeah, we heard your ass is the reason that Travis Scott didn't come perform, you bitch. But you gonna change that shit. We gonna pay you to change it. Take the goddamn suitcase. Take the case with the money in it. I mean, I wouldn't be like, to me, that's like the diabolical version of what somebody like Roger Goodell would think, but not how he would say it. Let me not say Roger Goodell. I don't know him enough. I don't know shit about his past, but the most diabolical white man you can find. It's an owner in the NFL that think like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the Clippers owner was on that shit at some point, telling his girlfriend, "Don't be bringing no niggas to my games." Like, there are people in these systemic structures that are on that shit. And when it come to Jay-Z being in his ear, and when it come to one of them old ass 70-something-year-old owners being in his ear, who the fuck you think he gonna be listening to? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not optimistic. I was at first, but now they talked about how they was gonna do shit to help the community and donate to all these initiatives. The first thing they should have came out with what was the first initiative they was gonna donate to.
Yeah.
But they came out with some fucking t-shirts on a soundtrack. Get the fuck out of here, man. Okay, I'm done.
Well, since we're talking about sports, DeMarcus Cousins. There's an arrest warrant, or they issued an arrest warrant for him. Apparently, there's an audio of him and his baby mama having a conversation. He's about to get married to this other woman, and he wanted to have his son come. And she told him no, and he threatened to put a bullet in her head. Listen, and this is my thing about shit like this. If I'm saying, no, I don't really think he should come. You know, you've been a little off lately. I have some concern. I'm gonna put a bullet in your head, bitch. Lets me know I'm right and feeling like this ain't the environment for him. You're not helping your case by threatening to shoot.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. I agree with the premise of what you're saying, but like, of that potential environment that he could be exposing his son to, being there on his wedding day is the complete opposite of any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, maybe if you wanted me to let him come to your house and meet your cousins and your friends when y'all having a block party, no. But his wedding, like, if there's no other day in your life that a nigga would say something like that, would act right, would be on his wedding. So to me, I feel like it's more vindictive. Like, what is the real reason? What's the real reason that he can't have his son there on his wedding day? Now, this do not justify how he responded to it, but I don't think his response was irrational as her response before it escalated to that. I think her response is irrational.
Oh, sure.
I guess I don't know
the nature of their relationship.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, like, if they broke up ultimately because he was violent and because his son had seen some violence. Don't get me wrong. There are definitely some circumstances upon which I would say, okay, you don't deserve an opportunity for your child to be with you on no day specifically. But, you know, my ultimate question becomes, how would this impact the child? And I don't think they squabbles make a difference if his child wants to go.
Unless he was being abusive when they were together and the child had seen. I wouldn't let my kid around him either.
Like, this is one of the hardest dilemmas for me because I have stepdaddy trauma. I have kids who have seen their stepdaddies put their hands on their mama, and that child divulged to me that they have a positive relationship with that man because they never did anything to them, even though they did something to their mama. And the mama would ask me, should I allow him to see him and have a relationship with him? And I'm like, I don't know. That's a hard one for me. So if a child really wants to have a relationship with that dad, I think you would do more harm to the child saying no based on their desires, especially depending on the child's age, versus having a universal no, you can never have a relationship with your daddy because of what happened back then.
What if how are you going to be guaranteed that it will never go to the child? Like, if the way that you express you being upset or you not liking what has happened or whatever the reason was you was putting your hands on mom, how am I supposed to for sure know that this child won't at some point be on the receiving end of your bullshit? Like, yeah, you weren't doing it when I was around, but that doesn't mean that obviously you capable of putting hands on motherfuckers. Like, I would still have a concern as a parent.
I mean, you would have a concern, but like, where's the line between you can always have your child because that's your father and that's what the child wants versus you can never have your child because some of your behaviors have shown that this might transfer to my son. I mean, you can't say you never see him again in your life because of what you were. I mean, the state won't even let you do that. The government won't even let you do that.
No.
You know, even when he get out of jail for this and she decide to take him to court to adjust custody or something, if they got custody arrangements, the state still ain't gonna say he can never have or see his son. You know, even after this.
It might be a supervised visit. I say this, you have your stepdaddy trauma. I have my biological father trauma. And so for me, being in a household where my dad was not healthy and my mom having that attitude that he's still your daddy shit, I hate that shit. I don't give a fuck. What does that mean? If he not behaving like such, I don't give a fuck about him being my... So like, I hate when I hear people say it's still your daddy. Like, I hate that.
But I don't like that either.
I can't stand it.
And we ain't even talking about that dynamic. We're talking about the potential for that child to want the relationship with his daddy. And a mama saying no versus a mama wanting a child to have a relationship with the daddy and the child don't want it. I think that's the variable. I think what you end up risking is, you'll protect your child from some shit.
Well, but I don't know if the kid wanted to go. I don't
know.
That's
what I'm saying. I'm saying it don't seem like it would matter in her dialogue anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if he didn't want to go and she was, like, he don't want to come, I'm not going to make him come.
But that would have been a real easy, this seems like she just not gonna let him go.
Well, if he's an irrational person, even if she said he don't want to go, why would that keep him from still threatening her?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's ways around that. Like, okay, he a goon on Saturdays, but he go to church on Sunday. Okay, drop the kid off at church on Sunday and pick him up from church. Like, there are environments where the risk is substantially lower. And if she can't look at him going to something in which the risk is very, very low, then what are the odds of her really wanting that child to interact with his daddy?
How old is the kid and who gonna be watching him at the wedding? Because dad can't, because
I have no idea, but if daddy gonna have, if niggas bringing choppers to the wedding, then you would know that beforehand. Like, you would know that's the kind of life he lived. Marcus Cousins is a basketball player.
Yeah, but look, NFL, NBA players be out
they
here
just reformed
up.
Goons in a lot of instances.
They be out here fucking up, beating bitches' asses, knocking them out in elevators. I don't know.
But the one thing I tell parents is, like, I can't tell you to have your child around his dad or to not have the child around his dad. But I tell you that if that child wants to be around his dad and you take that option away, you're going to be the enemy. And you're going to deal with some extra shit because of that. Even if in your head you're protecting that child from something, the child ain't going to interpret it like that. If a child's dad is that bad, they need to find out on their own. They're not going to find out that they bad from you trying to install in them that he bad. You got to let them find out on their own, or you just going to deal with a child that's going to be seeking a positive relationship with their daddy.
And blaming you
for it. And don't let that daddy fuck around and be decent at that point. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's in your best interest to allow a child to find out on their own that their daddy ain't shit, so that they say when they old enough, I don't even want to be around him. Versus allowing a child to build up this like hero persona for their daddy because you said he can't be around, and now daddy might actually be decent, and now you look like a dickhead, and your relationship is tainted even more because, like, I lost time. So I mean, I understand both sides, but I have to go by what the child wants and what's in the best interest of the child. And to me, the best interest of the child don't get really altered at a wedding, if that's what he want him to be at. And furthermore, like, if he do have like visitation and shit, like weekend visitation and shit, that completely nullify the idea that he gonna be put in an environment with an irrational person if he already see him this amount of time anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know the situation, but it just could be one of them situations where it's like, no, that's my time, not your time. You can't get him on my weekend, type situation. But,
I mean, but if I knew I had somebody I had a baby with somebody that was irrational to that point. He being who he is has the power to have a wedding whenever the fuck he want to have a wedding. I wouldn't even deal with that shit. I would have a wedding when I'm already gonna have his last anyway, so I wouldn't have to deal with her. If you know that you have somebody that's not co-parenting with you in a good way, I wouldn't even go through that. If you got visitation, have a wedding on the time when you gonna have him anyway, and you only have to ask for permission or none of that shit. You don't even have to go through that. You just do it on the Saturday that you have him. The wedding gonna be on this day because I have my son.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier than trying to get cooperation from somebody who isn't willing to cooperate with you.
But it's hard though, cause I wish my daddy would have one day when I was little have told my mama he was gonna put a bullet in her head. I wouldn't have went over that nigga house no more for them summers or them Christmases. You know? So it's like, it depends on how the child is experiencing this shit. You know, that I would determine how to do.
It was over the phone. They have a clip. I don't know if she recorded. She must have recorded it. Because they have a clip of him.
In most states, it's illegal to record without people's consent or knowledge of the recording.
TMZ got a recording of the phone call.
Yeah, I know. But I just wonder how that's going to apply legally.
They issued an arrest warrant for him.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. They said it's an arrest warrant for domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's domestic violence. You ain't hit nobody.
You don't have to hit people for it to be DV. You can if I pick up this shoe and throw it at you and don't hit you with it, but that's domestic violence.
First off, I'm gonna catch it because I got hands. Okay. Number two, I'm gonna put your ass out because I'm not violent. I don't throw shit back at you. All right. I'm just gonna ask you to leave after I ask you why you did that shit. You know, and then I'm gonna ask you to leave.
I'm saying
and I'm gonna call your mama and tell her that you on some drugs or something. Have her calling you all for the next 3-4 weeks.
Jesus Christ, yes, she would. But no, you like when people punch walls and shit, you get arrested for DV. I've had people that have come through for my anger management who ain't put their actual hands on nobody, but they like destroyed shit, threw shit around in the house. Like it don't have to be a physical contact for it to be DV.
I don't see why that wouldn't be called something else, like destruction of property. Like why would it be DV?
Because you were throwing it. It's the threat of violence. DV can be violence or the threat of violence. So if you throwing something at me, that's threatening. It's not just destroying property. Like if you just come in bashing TVs and shit, I guess that wouldn't count. But like if you're throwing things at me and you just got bad aim, it's it's the threat of violence. It's violence or the threat of violence will get you a DV charge. It doesn't actually. You don't have to make contact. You can get DV without making contact. So, and if you're gonna get a DV charge, better make contact. You don't get locked up. But yeah, you don't actually have to put hands on people for it to be DV. I learned that recently. It's the threat of violence. Violence or the threat of violence. So I could get locked up for DV for throwing a shoe at you. Well, I don't know what it be DV. Doesn't it have to be some type of a specific relationship for it to be? Otherwise, it's just assault. Domestic violence denotes a relationship.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they're not in a relationship.
Well, if you got a child, I mean, it's gonna be DV.
Oh, okay.
They've had a romantic relationship. They've got children together. They're co-parenting with the child. It'll still be DV.
So, what you know about Johnson & Johnson?
They make baby stuff.
They don't just make baby stuff.
I know, but that's all I know about Johnson & Johnson.
They've been sued for their role in the opioid crisis. And
what has their role been in the opioid crisis?
I guess they got some opioids.
Why the fuck is that? Because people are using stuff that's made illegally. How are they to blame for that?
Because of how they market it. Let me see. So Johnson & Johnson owns Janssen Pharmaceuticals, and the lawsuit states that they misleadingly promoted opioids that caused harm. And the reality is the judge upheld a ruling against Johnson & Johnson, meaning they got to pay out like 500 and something billion. Can't be billion. Million dollars. 500 and something $1 million. And I was just going to bring that up to talk about a dynamic that I had not thought about. But something that y'all should watch is John Oliver's most recent episode of Last Week Tonight. Mm-hmm. It's about 20 minutes long. He talks about the disparities in the health field. And he started off talking about women for a short period of time. And then he started talking about black people and black women. Mm-hmm. And he talked about this one case with this black woman. Because, when apparently in some of the books in nursing school and some of the questions that were asked of nursing students, they thought that black people had thicker skin. Like, these are students today that are saying we thought black people had thicker skin. They had a book that talked about black people having a higher tolerance for pain.
What?
Yeah, they talked about black people having a higher tolerance for pain. So like that would be attributed to why how they may make decisions based on believing that black people's pain is different. Then for women, they didn't believe that women were in pain. So that's double for black women. So as a black person, you're supposed to have a higher pain tolerance, and your pain was just attributed to your emotions and all of that extra shit. But John Oliver, they go over this whole thing in the episode, and they play a clip of Wanda Sykes talking about the opioid crisis. What she said is that, like, she had a triple bioctomy, some shit. I know that ain't a thing, but she had something that...
A surgery.
And she said the only thing they gave me was ibuprofen after surgery. Mm-hmm. And she said because of racism, black people can't even get their hands on opioids. Like, hospitals ain't even giving black people these medications that they giving white people in droves because they don't believe black people when they say they in the level of pain that they say they in. They think that black people are trying to get them because they want to do drugs, where white people, they just believe white people.
But how are they promoting it?
You've seen Scrubs, right?
Oh, yeah, the pharmaceutical reps.
Pharmaceutical reps come in there and they buy stuff and they do all kind of things to make them doctors say, you should write more prescriptions for us. We're going to give you these kickbacks if you write this much for us. We're going to bring you food every week. You don't have to worry about pens or pads or none of that stuff.
How is that not on the doctors accepting it, though? How is it that Johnson & Johnson's getting sued as opposed to the hospitals that are over prescribing or whatever the case may be? How is it? I don't understand how the main company is responsible for that.
I mean, it's a top-down responsibility system. It's like, yeah, you can say, you can put the blame on the addicts, or you could put the blame on the guys that's nickel and diming, but who really pushing in all this shit is the motherfucker that got ships coming in from over. So like, if you're talking about like pharmaceuticals, yeah, you can get at the doctors for writing prescriptions for the
over prescribing
100 people they see a month.
Yeah,
but like, if you really want to target somebody, you go towards the person that's giving a whole mass in hospitals and states full of doctors these incentives to give more and more and more out.
I guess.
But I guess it also, like, I don't know, this article don't talk about the stats in Oklahoma of what particular drugs are the most prescribed. Because if you talk about Janssen Pharmaceuticals prescribing their version of medication and mass marketing it and selling a whole bunch of it and having these doctors with a shitload of samples and stuff to give people and then giving these doctors extra kickbacks and that particular drug being like the highest one that's prescribed, like they got something to do with that.
The fact that, I mean, and I've seen this before, like America is one of the only countries that have drug ads on TV where it will tell you about this prescription for you to go specifically ask your doctor about if you have, like Britain, over in other countries, they don't advertise specific medications to the public. Like the doctors know, and the doctors have, but they don't have people coming in requesting specific medications because they saw a commercial for it. It's very American.
Well, that's what happened in a capitalist democracy. when you tell the world that private business, is the best way to get things done in America, and private businesses only objective is to gain capital, and some private businesses have a product that if you are irresponsible with it, it turns into an epidemic potentially, then they're going to market their products. Like, that's capitalism. Like, that's our society saying that the government can't intervene in how private business do stuff until it fuck a whole bunch of shit up. That's how America do. We let private businesses do whatever they want to until it fuck up. That's what happened with like those glow in the dark sticks that people were making, where they were having contact with all of that glow in the dark stuff, and they ended up having they all ended up dying from that. Like, it wasn't even race related. It was just a whole bunch. Or when you talk about a factory that's in a neighborhood that's been dumping in the river and now it's impacting the soil and people start dying from that. You talk about asbestos and mesothelioma. I mean, they let businesses get away with shit until it kill people, and then the government step in. The government don't step in as like a measure of responsibility before it get bad enough to start harming people.
It's never made sense to me that they advertise drugs on TV, because the way that drugs work is up to the specific doctor that knows your specific case. Like, seeing this little commercial on TV and me going to ask for this specific drug should not be a thing if it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never understood drug commercials.
It's to inform the user. Like, everybody ain't gonna get online and go find out which drug. Like, I don't want the drug that a side effect is anal leakage. I like to wear white pants.
They don't mention all the side effects on the commercials.
But what I'm saying is there are medications that have anal leakage as a side effect, and there's some that don't.
I've never heard that be one of the side effects that they say on TV, though. They do.
I have. That's the only reason I know about it. I don't look up medications for nothing. I don't take no pills. The only time I was surprised, they were like, if you take this drug, you may have nausea, headaches, short of breath, and anal leakage. I'm like, what the? That shit ain't connected to none of that other shit. How your booty, like, what about this drug make your booty loose?
But it's like the, what was that medicine? There was was it Risperdal? One of the medications was giving boys boobs. One of the ADHD.
My kids take some of that shit.
It was one of the ADHD medications. It was one of them little, if you've taken Risperdal and your son, like one of them commercials. It was an ADHD medication. I can't remember which one, but it was giving boys boobs. And I'm like, what in it is fucking with their hormones? And that y'all didn't know that this was a thing? Like,
the active ingredient in ADHD medications was the active ingredient in diet pills for the 90s. That's why a lot of kids, when they take ADHD medication, they talk about not being able to eat and their diet being impacted. That's because that's what people used to take. And motherfuckers found out that it made them focus. Like, they found out that ADHD, the shit that they was using for weight loss in the 90s, worked for other shit. That's the same thing that happened with jet lag medication in narcolepsy. Jet lag medication was keeping the pilots awake. It was not only like helping their circadian rhythms adjust when they got back, from crossing over all of them time zones so fast, but it was keeping them woke. So that jet lag medication, Provigil and Nuvigil, started to be used for narcolepsy because they found out they had them qualities. That's what happened with a lot of medications. Motherfuckers start using them for shit, and when they be asking for side effects, motherfuckers, I imagine in trials, people were saying, yeah, this is helping me lose weight, but what it really make me focus too. And people be like, okay, well, let's test it for focusing and shit. And then you focus. It
was Risperdal, which is made by Johnson and Johnson.
Look at God. Look at it.
I remember. Oh my God, they settled over 1,300 lawsuits because there were young men who, oh my God, grew female breasts up to 46 double Ds.
What?
I remember it being like a whole thing. This was back in
they had whole titties.
This was in 2015. I remember. I was like, what is it in there that's causing this that they didn't know? Because it was Risperdal is a very popularly prescribed medication. And Risperdal, Johnson and Johnson.
Made by Johnson and Johnson, huh?
Yep. Damn. Oh, I remember seeing that commercial and I was like, oh no. Like, I didn't know that they were growing boobs. I was imagining just like little boobs. I didn't. 46 double D is huge. That's a big chest for a boy.
They want people to walk in there and say, "Hey, doc, what about that medication that they was talking about on the TV?"
They do. They want you to go in and
do.
ask about it.
They want them to come in with some kind of little knowledge about the thing, and that's it.
But there was a 20-year-old autistic man who grew 44 double D breasts as a result of taking the drug since age 8. Like when he started growing boobs, then nobody said the fuck is going on. Like maybe we need to like how is this? Why is this happening? Nobody.
People don't take control of their treatment at these doctors, man. They just let the doctor say this is what's gonna happen and just let it happen.
But 44 double Ds.
That ain't what the 8-year-old had.
No, he grew. By the time he was 20, he had 44 double Ds.
And he took that shit all the way up to he was 20.
Yeah.
So nobody connected the dots to this
That's
medication.
what I'm saying. Why would nobody have said why he got boobs?
And not only that, like when they did the trials, you mean nobody grew titties? That's why Johnson & Johnson asses is getting fucking sued by Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? 2015. Just imagine what other shit been going on. Just imagine.
Oh, that's so terrible. But yeah, I remember because I was like, they're growing boobs. And the reason I think the reason why I remembered it is because I work with a lot of kids that has taken Risperdal. Like Risperdal is one of the more well known ones, and yeah, it was causing boobs. They still so maybe they fixed whatever was causing the boobs because it still gets prescribed. They ain't stopped prescribing it.
Yeah.
So they must have found whatever molecule within the drug was causing increased hormones.
Whatever was creating them two titties. Whatever was creating them titties.
Oh, Johnson & Johnson. Was that yours?
My what? Johnson & Johnson, yeah.
So you did what was it? What is Impossible Burger? Beyond Meat from KFC is released. They're doing a test run in Atlanta, a limited test in Atlanta at KFC's. It's gonna be plant-based chicken, and it looks like plant-based chicken. Like it doesn't have like a chicken look to me. Maybe it has a chicken taste. I don't know, but they're releasing it in Atlanta.
I don't want it. You know, the debate right now is whether Impossible Meats and Beyond Meats are actually healthy for humans. They're definitely good for the environment, and they're definitely meat alternatives. But the question now is, are the ingredients of those things actually healthy for people? And are those companies concerned with it being healthy, or are they just concerned with it not being meat? Because I don't think you can have both. I don't think you can have a piece of meat that tastes just like a Whopper burger and it be healthy for you. I don't think you can have those things.
My whole thing with like veganism and vegetarianism is that, people say we're not meant to digest these things. It's not good for us. But you have to take all of these supplements because you lose shit when you stop eating meat. If that was the case, then you'd be perfectly all right and you wouldn't have to do shit else but just not eat meat. If you're getting any benefit from it, I don't know how you can say that we're not meant to, humans weren't like, what? Then why do you have to take supplements? Because you out here, I don't know what the deficiency, protein maybe? I don't know.
Eat meat?
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
What
protein,
deficiency you could get from not eating meat, but I don't know. I don't get it. I'm going to eat meat till I ain't here no more.
Good. Both meats.
Go on.
You ain't going to start eating tacos.
What is your next story?
You already know how that's going to work. An Alabama man just had his sentence changed so that he'll be getting out of prison in the next few days. His crime, stealing $50.75 from a bakery 36 years ago.
They gave him 36 years.
No, they gave him life.
For stealing $50?
Yes.
$50.
Yes.
Even with the change in money 36 years ago, $50 still wasn't shit to be given no life sentence over.
And Alabama state law at the time mandated it. It was called the Habitual Felony Offender Act.
Oh, so this okay. So
it was
that's
his fourth
important.
offense.
Okay.
And the crazy thing is, this was before the 3 strikes law. Like, Alabama had its own version of that shit.
Of course, Alabama. What the fuck? Like, of course they did.
And of course it hurts that the man's black. Okay.
Of course he is.
But I had a police officer tell me that the reason that white people don't get as much time for stealing out of houses and stealing out of cars and things as black people is because of a very, very specific distinction that is between burglary and robbery.
Okay.
It's a big difference.
It is a big difference. I work
Because-
for 911. You can't.
Yeah.
You have to make sure when you go out over there, you say the right fucking thing. Robbery and burglary doesn't involve
Any
the
lot of
person.
kind of violence in
Yeah.
anything. There's
Robbery involves violence with the person.
Yeah,
taking
violence
it.
with the person and, some kind of weapon of some
Yeah,
sort.
burglar just breaking in somebody's
So-
house when they ain't there.
Even if you broke into somebody's house that wasn't there and you got caught with a gun having done that,
It's robbery.
they can consider that robbery.
That's
That's
bullshit.
subjective. So, for example, if this man broke into
The bakery and had a gun.
and had a gun, yeah, that's going to be.
That's some bullshit.
Or even if he had a rock, it don't matter what you had. If you have
Whatever
something that
weapon.
threat violence against somebody.
What kind of bullshit is
But
that?
it's one of them things where it's subjective. They can call it robbery if they wanted to, even if nobody was involved. That's like the court system bullshit.
That's so bullshit.
That's the shit that's been happening to black people for some time.
Because I can't remember what the 10 codes were for Montgomery. It was so long ago, but there was a separate. You have a robbery and a burglary code, and then each of those have separate codes for whether or not it's if they still currently have the weapon, whatever. If there's somebody at home, like. But robbery and burglary are two very different things. But that's bullshit that you can justify saying that it's robbery simply because the person had a weapon on them, even though the weapon was not brandished at anyone. Because when nobody else fucking there but them, that's bullshit.
That shit has happened before, man.
Wow.
And I just imagine that it's so many cases that if you went back and looked at them, the preposterousness of why they came to be would be heavy. Would be heavy to deal with.
Richard Pryor's son is alleging that Paul Mooney molested him when he was a kid.
No, he is not.
Okay.
He is not alleging that.
What is he alleging?
Richard Pryor's bodyguard is alleging that Richard Pryor hired somebody to kill Paul Mooney. The son hasn't spoken up on it.
He has.
He has since 2 days ago?
He officially, when was this?
Damn, I didn't get an update for that shit.
TMZ reports that Richard Pryor Jr. has officially confirmed the previous allegations that when he was underage, Paul Mooney molested him. Claims that began with Richard Pryor's former bodyguard, Rashawn Khan, in a prior interview that has gone viral. So he's confirmed it.
That's TMZ though.
Well, but look.
How would they confirm? Like the story I heard.
TMZ recently caught up with Richard Pryor Jr. where he indeed confirmed that he was molested at a young age well before the 1980s, saying that he was definitely under the age of consent when the alleged assault took place.
But, so this is my question. Did he confirm it by saying, yeah, this happened to me? Or did he confirm it by saying, I'm not going to comment? Because technically that would be, that not denying it to a degree is confirmation of it. So that's the kind of games that TMZ play. I ain't saying they doing that now, but I just wonder if he said that shit.
I don't know.
What's like for me? I need to see quotation marks in this.
There were quotes under the age of consent. although Pryor Jr. never specifically called out Mooney by name, he didn't deny that he was his abuser either when pressed by the cameraman. So he wouldn't say Mooney's name.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not necessarily a confirmation.
But if it wasn't him, you would just say it wasn't him. Why would you not make a comment? Like,
I understand that that's like a vicarious by proxy confirmation.
Yeah.
But it's not an overt confirmation.
well, they did say he didn't bow. They put that part in there.
But
you
that
know?
makes the shit disingenuous when TMZ say shit like he confirms it. Like confirming it, like, you know what I'm saying?
I guess.
Like if I say you going to eat with me, you confirming it and saying yes, I'm going out to eat.
Yes.
If you say I ain't doing nothing, I mean, technically that could mean you coming, but not necessarily. So that's why I was like trying to find where he said something. I was doing this the other day. I was like, damn, this is a fucked up thing. And I just wonder why he wouldn't say it now. Like, why not say it? And not only that, but Paul Mooney canceled shows. Paul Mooney chilled the fuck out. Like, Paul Mooney canceled some shows. That ain't the mark of somebody who ain't did shit.
Exactly.
You know, but that ain't confirmation though. What they got in quotes is, whatever happened in my life, it happened when I was young, way before the 80s. And then he said, the reporter followed up by asking if the sexual relationship was consensual. He said, how can any relationship be consensual if I was a teenager? And maybe at the time he was a teenager, this wild theory, he was okay with something happening. Because that kind of response is very passive to whether it was consensual or not.
Well, but legally, legal consent is
I-
very different from verbal.
But that situation.
Does that matter if
Yes.
he did? Why does it matter if he consented to it as a kid and Paul Mooney as an adult took advantage of him? Why would that make a difference?
It makes a difference in how a court interprets that, and it makes a difference by which level of sexual offender you put on if you are found guilty of it.
Look at what was his name? The bishop, not T.D. Jakes, the one that was wearing the body armor, sending pictures, taking the boys on trips and shit.
Eddie Long.
Eddie Long.
One of the bad Eddies.
I mean, there's that situation where it's like they were going on the trips with him, but because of how old they were, it still was considered fucking wrong. Like, and people still had a problem with it. I don't know why that makes a difference.
The only reason that it makes a difference to me is because I've had both of these kind of cases. Mm-hmm. I've had a situation where a kid that was slightly older than a girl that he was dating, mm-hmm. and that they both were consensual and that they both agreed that it was consensual, mm-hmm. Had sex and the parent found out.
Okay, that's different from a grown ass man and a teenager. Paul Mooney wasn't a child.
No. What I'm saying is, to the court system, yes, he was a grown man to that degree. Like, it wasn't kid. When I say kids, they kids on my caseload, but one of them was 18, the other one was 16, and they were both in school together. So technically,
did he get in trouble for that?
Yeah, he got in trouble, but the degree to which he got in trouble was based on the judge listening to both of them say we both did consent, like, this was okay.
The age of consent in Alabama is 16. Why would he have got in trouble for that?
He wasn't. He was 16. He was 18 and 16 at the time that this case was brought to the judge. But when it happened, it was 15. Okay. Like, it was like a small window when she was still 15 before she turned 16, and he was 18 already. Okay. So it was that little time. Yeah, it was that little gap, and so the level of charges that the daddy wanted to press because the daddy found out and he was a hysterical parent, mm-hmm. that's different than a girl saying, I didn't want sex. I didn't want to have sex. He came and he forced himself upon me. And that was a two different things.
But you're still talking about a vastly different situation if Paul Mooney is a grown man, a grown man. Not like they're not close in age. He wasn't close in age to Bridget Pryor's son. That's not the same thing.
Well, I'm also not necessarily talking about how the courts would handle this either. I'm talking about his willingness to respond to what happened to him. If he, at the time, thought it was okay, then of course he wouldn't say, yeah, Paul Mooney did this to me, because it would imply that he is out to make sure that Paul Mooney gets some kind of consequences for it.
Or there's no proof, and if he says Paul Mooney's name and this gets drug in the like, he may just not want to deal with. Because like, what's going at this point, they're not gonna do nothing to Paul Mooney behind this. They can't. It's been too long. So what would he gain from calling out Paul Mooney's name when it's already a situation where people are probably looking at, it's. I don't know what he would gain from saying Paul Mooney's name. For me, him not saying his name don't mean shit. Paul Mooney canceling shows, like, why? If you didn't do nothing and you know it ain't.
I don't know. I mean, it could be one of them tongue-in-cheek responses where he say, the reporter asks, is the sexual relationship consensual? And he could be like, man, fuck, how can any relationship with a kid be fucking consensual, nigga, with a grown up?
Yeah.
Or, in my head, I guess it depends on how he responded to it. Like, to me, that response could mean that he just trying to divert from the question of whether it was a consensual interaction. Because, I mean,
if Paul Mooney did this shit, he ain't shit. Like, preying on young folks, I don't care whether it's a heterosexual, homosexual, like, it's not okay. It's not. I don't give a shit. Even if, because who knows if he was okay with it, how he came to be okay with it. We don't know if this was a heavily abused boy who at this point, by the time Paul Mooney got to him, he just been abused so much that it didn't fucking matter to him. Like, we don't know.
And listen, I don't want to give off the illusion that I'm trying to say why this would have been okay. Ain't no universe in which it should be okay. I'm trying to understand why he would respond the way he did about it, not overtly say yes it was, and then when asked questions that he could answer, he diverts to a passive response like that. That's all I'm trying to
Could
assess.
Paul Mooney sue him at this point? If he said his name, said for sure Paul Mooney molested me, could Paul Mooney sue him?
Probably not. If that bodyguard know about this shit, it's other people that's alive that was around Richard Pryor that know about this shit. And there's people in his life that know about it, because apparently he had to have confirmed, his son had to have confirmed to Richard Pryor that something happened for Richard Pryor to say, I'm going to kill that nigga.
Oh, yeah. True.
So somebody got to know what happened.
Well,
Paul Mooney probably risked to lose more trying to, retaliate for it if he would have said anything than any other way.
I don't know. Paul Mooney has he ever been married? He always has seemed kind of weird to me. Like, I've never watched his stand up. I remember him from, my only introduction to him was through Chappelle's show when he was on there. He was like, what, Negro Damas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Paul Mooney's always been kind of strange to me, but I mean, I don't think I equated that with him being a child molester, but he has always seemed a little weird to me.
Yep. That's the name of his game.
And this
weird nigga.
The sad thing, again, your parent as a parent, you gotta watch who your fucking kids be around. You know what I'm saying? And I think Richard Pryor had a lot of shit going on anyway, though, because him and what's the actor name? The white man.
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
He had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. He was sucking meats. He said he was.
He did. Marlon Brando was a very attractive man in his youth, though. He was very attractive. Now, I don't know if that like translate over to him being attractive to other men too at the time, but he was good looking. Good looking white man in his day. But I was very surprised when I found, like, I don't think I had ever seen was it an interview or stand up where Richard Pryor was saying he sucked dick?
I think he alluded to it in a stand up, and then in an interview at some point, he or somebody else admitted it.
I was very, not something I would have thought. It's random. I was like, okay. Yeah. Shit. All right.
Apparently that happens.
Yeah. Marlon Brando was with a lot, not just Richard Pryor. Marlon Brando was getting all of these niggas out here, apparently.
Must have been the king of spades out here. Racism.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, that's all I got. I mean, we at hour and 58 minutes.
All right.
Our episodes have been they've been doubling in viewers
Listeners.
and listeners for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
I'm excited.
So if y'all have put anybody on the podcast, we appreciate you. Because I don't know what any other we don't market the podcast.
We're so shit at that.
I mean, it ain't even that I'm shit at it. Like, the place I would market it is a place where I got a lot of professionals on my page.
True.
As well. So I'm not really interested in them hopping on here and listening to an episode out of context and that impacting my business world and my life and my life as a therapist.
If we have, I just want to know, even if it's just commenting, I want to know if somebody's listening that is from outside of America that isn't Michael or Leon. Like, even if you're in Britain or if you're in another part of the world, I'm just curious.
Somebody in Mozambique listening.
I would love to have somebody from Mozambique on.
If you're in Mozambique, send us some kind of message that you're listening.
I would love to have them on the show, even if just to talk about. Is it Mozambique, Africa?
Yes.
The like African American, African. I would love to have that conversation with somebody.
That would be a good conversation.
That would be a really good conversation.
But you got anything else on your mind?
I do not.
All right. Well, until we come to the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.